Hello, everybody. Welcome back to baseball. I'm not gonna explain here why I have been away from even the Marlins series, because I just made a little intro to put in front of the video I'm gonna be uploading tomorrow, which is against the Houston Astros. Kind of explain, but I'll explain a little bit here. I mean, I said I'm not gonna explain. I'm gonna explain a little bit. My Xbox is kind of broken. I think I need a new one. I don't even know if I'm gonna get through this game, but I'm gonna try. Today's gonna be a podcasty episode because it has been a while and there has been some things happening in the MLB that I just kind of want to talk about. You know. But first, it's been a while. I kind of want to reacquaint myself with this team. I see Shane McClanahan there. I know we made that trade. So yeah, we got Shane, Yuri, Weathers, Mar, Max Meyer. Bullpen not looking bad. Does look like we need a catcher. I just kind of look back to see what my last video was on here, which was the one I made the intro for. And I got good draft picks coming in, at least, round 1 and 2 through 2. Even 3 looks okay, even for being I think it was D potential. So we got Kobe Mayo here. Duran, Norby, Wisely, Senzel. Hey, I forgot we had Beatty. This guy. Probably because for September calls. Beatty though, up to a 69 overall. Lopez, Xavier Edwards. Okay. That's right, I forgot we got Carter. And we got Kelnick and Brian De La Cruz here. Brought him back to Miami. Looks like because there was a roster update and I've got to go back in and update the Rooster stuff again. There's some overalls around the league, but looks like he's on the Yankees now. Oh, that's right. We got Luis Robert, who is Ruiz. 23, 20, only in 66 games between us and the Dodgers. I think he was on the A's still in this, but he's hitting good. 23 stolen bases. And okay, yeah. Let me just. So we got the pitching rotation working. I think I remember I said I wanted our big, hopefully big, free agent splash to be Kyle Tucker to fit right here so we can move maybe Adrian down and Carter down and keep Beatty, or maybe we can try to trade Kelnick and Beatty for a third baseman. See if there's any positions we want to change. And he's been doing okay, but yeah, I do. I want Ruiz in this. So okay, yeah, I was still lining up for me. Going against the Rockies. I don't. Well, it's been a while for me, so I don't even know who I wanna. They have it set on Shane McClanahan. I think Jaden Hill had the worst ERA. So we'll just hop in there. I'm be quiet for a sec. Gonna pop in, and then we'll talk baseball stuff. Or at least I will, and hopefully you'll listen while I play the game. Okay, we are here for the game. Look at that, Coors Field. Neither of us good, but we're better than the Rockies. But yeah, a lot of stuff in baseball going on over these past. Like I said, I don't think I've touched my Xbox in 3 weeks. So let's see. We'll start with my favorite team, the Red Sox. The Rafael Devers saga continues. He didn't want to play DH. He wanted to be the third baseman at the start of the season, despite them signing Bregman. And then he went to DH, and then Tristan Casas went down, and they're like, hey, can you play first base? And he was like, no. You already made me switch my position once. Which I can understand a little bit, but it's also third base to first base transition usually isn't that hard. But that saga continues. And then, of course, Bregman went down. So, Red Sox, not looking great. There's been some rumors for a Jarren Duran trade with them. Padres, and I think even the Mariners top the list. I don't think either of those teams need Duran. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. Padres do, but what they would need to give up to get Duran, the Red Sox don't need, which is good. Oh, that was a bad swing. Good infield prospects because they have, of course, Christian Campbell, who is playing right now. Red Sox just called up Marcelo Meyer as well. So they got a good young infield. They don't really need more right now. So I don't know what the Padres could give the Red Sox. I mean, I know they need a catcher, but so do the Padres, so I don't think they're going to give up Salas. Even though Salas is only 19. And I don't think he's ready for the major leagues.
Nope, outside.
And then the Mariners, I mean, could they use outfield help right now? Yes, but for them, Luke Raley's coming back from injury soon. Robles, that's when Robles is going to come back in September. And plus, Duran led the league in doubles last year. And the Mariners ballpark is like 28th in doubles or something. I watched the Mariner Mojo's podcast they released last night after the Mariners got swept by the last place Orioles, which I could talk a little about after this, but they talked about the Duran trade and like the doubles factor or whatever in Seattle is like the 28th in the league, which is not great. So a doubles hitters like Duran would not really work in Seattle. So I don't think it works out for them either. I'm Red Sox fan. I do like Duran, but they do got to find a spot for Roman Anthony. He is ready, and I just don't know who you get rid of in the outfield. Cedane Rafaela, they extended, and he can kind of play everywhere, and he's having a pretty decent season right now. So I don't know if you get rid of him. In fact, I think he just hit a walk-off home run last night or the other night. I don't know if it was a home run, but I know he got a walk-off hit for the Red Sox. Which, can I say, I think I talked about it in another one of these kind of podcasty type games. Is that about the Washington Nationals chasing their City Connect jersey? The Red Sox did too, and while it's still good, and I say this as someone who's not a fan of the color yellow, but those yellow with the baby blue colors, oh my god, why why did you get rid of that? I know the new ones are supposed to represent the history of the ballpark with like green, like the green monster and stuff, but man, those yellow with the baby blue were so good. I want a hat from that City Connect. Same with the Nationals. I just I don't got money to order them online, but I would really love them before they. I'm assuming they're gonna stop making them at some point. I mean, my birthday's in like 2 months. Maybe gonna be like, hey mom, you know what I want for my birthday? These hats. But well, yeah, I just little Red Sox drama, Jalen Duran trade, them changing their City Connect jerseys too. Not been. It was a great start for the Red Sox, but so far now it's kind of not doing so great. Now let's go to their division rivals and the aforementioned series that just happened with the Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles. Mariners. What the heck happened? Again, pulling what they talked about from the Mariner Mojo podcast last night after the game. Um, I think it was starting May 9th when they faced the Blue Jays, when the Blue Jays swept them in Toronto. Before that, Mariners were like the fifth best OPS team in the league, I think, or the fifth best offensive team. I can't remember what stat. I think it was OPS plus. But since they got swept by Toronto starting May 9th up until at least yesterday when they released their podcast, I think they said the Mariners were 26th in OPS plus. What happened, Mariners? You lost to a struggling Baltimore team, in which I don't. I mean, I know their offense hasn't been great. Tyler O'Neill has not lived up to the contract yet, and because they moved in the wall for him, and other things haven't really panned out for Baltimore. But it's also their pitching. They have no good starting pitching, which sucks because they got a good young hitters core. Jackson Holiday has been actually really, really good and underrated this season. He's one of the better second basemen in the American League and even in all the league. He's having a really good season so far. Gunnar Henderson, he's been riddled with injuries, but I think he's just getting back healthy. Um, so there's been some injuries on the hitting side, but it's also just been their pitching that just they have none, which is also surprising for the Mariners because also since the Blue Jays, I know they talk about their offense. We just earned some rewards points, but also about their offense being bad. They're like in the low, high to mid 20s. I can't remember, but again, that's another number pulled from the Mariner Mojo podcast when they talked about it. Their pitching hasn't been great either lately, which is supposed to be the Mariners' bread and butter. I know they've had injuries, like George Kirby has just come back and not looked great for them. Logan Gilbert is down, but he might be back against Arizona next week. Bryce Miller is back from injury, but I think they just should shut him down and get that bone spur taken out of his elbow, because that's what he was out for. Was they found a bone spur in his elbow, and he said he wants to pitch through it and then get the surgery at the end of the year. But I just think he should get it now. Kind of just throw this year away because uh, they just sent him down. But Logan Evans, before the day before they sent him down, or 8 innings of just 1 run ball, great game. He's looking pretty okay right now. Emerson Hancock, after his first start where he got really blown up this year, has calmed it down and looked like at least a really good 4 or 5 rotation member, even on another team that's not the Mariners. He's been looking like a great fourth or fifth starter in a rotation. So they do have some depth at starting pitching position that could help with Bryce Miller going down. But as always, what the Mariners needs is offense. They need Julio to figure something out. Kyle Raleigh is right now on another planet. I know right now Aaron Judge is still the front runner for MVP, but if if Aaron Judge was not around, like I don't want him to get hurt, but if he was hurt or he starts to really cool off, Kyle Raleigh I feel like is right there for MVP right now, even though we're just into June. Kyle Raleigh is just having an amazing season so far. But Jorge Polanco, after that first month starting off hot, has just been like his last year self. Not great. Mitch Garver, their backup catcher, not great. Ben Williamson, who they brought up, has been great defensively, but offensively struggling a little bit. Randy struggling a little bit. Um, Rowdy Telez he's been okay at first, but his platoon Donovan Solano has not been great. I think the Mariners need to call up their first base prospect Tyler Locklear because he can't be any worse than Solano as the right-handed platoon against lefties. He can't be any worse. The Mariners bullpen has struggled a little bit. Specifically Munoz as of late. He had not given up a single run in like a bunch of appearances, and then iTalk Studios made a video about him, and then Munoz got blew a save in each of the Twins games in the ninth when the Mariners played the Twins recently. So he cursed them. I'm just joking, but it's just weird. He makes a video about how good he is, and then he starts sucking. But yeah, Mariners need offense.
That's a ball.
That's a ball. That was a strike. But I don't know where it comes from. They could trade for a first baseman, but I don't know who would be available. I know they just also brought up Cole Young, who could maybe help offensively at second. So I'm not gonna say second because they just brought up Cole Young, and let's give him a few months, see what he's got right now. Shortstop, I mean, I know Jake P. Crawford kind of gets on base, but like he's not. I know he's the captain of the team. He's not great. I don't. He's a. I mean, he's a good shortstop. Like, yeah, he would probably. He would be most teams, but they keep thinking he's like the need to go start spark plug, maybe not spark plug guy, but kind of like one of the main cogs of the offense. And no, he's not a main cog of the offense. It needs to be Julio with Cal Raleigh right now because Cal Raleigh is freaking the machine that is keeping the Mariners offense alive right now. That was straight. But it needs to be Cal Raleigh and Julio, kind of the two main pieces. And they just keep throwing JP Crawford out there. And saying he's one of the main pieces of the offense. He's a good piece for the offense. Yes, he's a good piece, but he should not be. If you go to the other 29 teams, except for maybe the Rockies or the White Sox, J.P. Crawford, not Carl Crawford. He's old. Right, I was talking. I would try to throw it, trying to line it up, but J.P. Crawford for 27 other teams would not be a main cog in the offense.
2-2 the count.
So that needs to change. Third base, like I said, Williams defensively has been good, struggled a little bit offensively. But I mean, he's a rookie. It's to be expected. His offense wasn't super touted in the minor leagues.
No, foul ball.
But you know, outfield Randy has not been great. Julio needs to pick it up. Right field. I don't even know who's playing right field for the Mariners tonight against the Angels. Oh, Tavares, because they picked him up off waivers. He's been okay. Defensively, he's been pretty good. Offensively, he hit a little bit of a hot streak. He's kind of cooled off again, but yeah, that's the Mariners talk because there's the team I can watch most readily because I live near them. But we'll keep it in the ALS. Rangers have, believe it or not, a really good pitching staff despite how old it is.
0-1's the count.
But they are falling apart offensively, to say the least. Oh, actually, we'll skip the. We're gonna back off the Texas talk and go back to Mariners talk because I know they were one of the bigger teams brought up in the Jalen Duran trade for the Red Sox. Like I said, I don't think it works. I do, however, think there could be some trades. Now I know, again,
He's out.
shout out to the Mariner Mojo podcast again. I've been talking about them a lot and what they be talking about with Seattle. But they say that the Mariners should DFA Mitch Garver. And while, yeah, maybe. But, well, I mean, DFA him along with Donovan Solano. Donovan Solano, yeah, DFA. But, Mitch Garver, despite how bad he's been and how kind of bad the contract is with how bad his production has been, I think they could trade Garver. Now, I don't know what they would get back, but I know there are a couple of teams
0-2's the
that
count.
could potentially use a catcher. One of those teams is one of the other potential drawn up landing spots for Jalen Duran, and that's the San Diego Padres. While Elias Diaz has been great defensively for the Padres' catching core of him and Martin Maldonado offensively has been absolute garbage. Now, of course, Mitch Garver has not been great offensively at all this year either, but he can't be. I mean, I think he's probably just as bad, but couldn't get any worse for San Diego. Again, I don't know what you get the San Diego gives back because it's, bad contract, bad numbers. I mean, the Mariners are always looking for pick and play relievers. Maybe there's a reliever that is a major league reliever, but there's, Padres aren't finding a spot for him. So maybe they could, because I know the Mariners bullpen has been shaky, so maybe they can go like, hey, here's this reliever, see what you can do with him. We'll take Garver, and as long as you pay part of that contract, because the Mariners will probably have to pay part of that contract. But, yeah, you can be like, hey, can't be any worse than your situation now. Maybe Garver pops off for San Diego, and that will also bring up playing time and a spot for the Mariners catching prospect Harry Ford. Give him the platoon against lefties, give Cal Raleigh a DH day. Or, if he, because I think Harry Ford is doing good in AAA, maybe give Cal Raleigh some time off behind the plate against righties. Put him at DH against righties. Let Harry Ford catch a day or two during the week. An extra day or two during the week is what I meant to say.
Got him.
That's one option. Another option was the team we were about to talk about before I backtracked. Texas Rangers. Jonah Heim for them has somehow fallen off a cliff. I don't know what the heck has happened to him. Just like 2 years ago, he was
Red ball foul.
arguably a top five catcher. Maybe not top five, but at least top 10 catcher in the league. And he is just fallen
Ball one.
off a cliff. And so, they brought in, Texas brought in a former San Diego Padres catcher, Kyle Higashioka, who came over in the trade for Juan Soto.
One ball.
He signed with the Rangers this offseason. He has not been great either. And, again, why would a team who already has bad catching potentially trade for another catcher who's not having a great season? Well, Texas, he's played there. He's played for the Rangers. In fact, he was there and he had a really good season with them when they won the World Series in 2023. So he has been there. He has played there and he has had success there. And again, I look at maybe another plug and play reliever or maybe a forgotten starter. I know they're still trying to give Jack Leiter a chance, so I say that's probably not in the cards, definitely not, but I think there's another one. I think his name is Cole Winn, who, in fact, in this game, as last time I checked, they have him. He was a starter. They have him now as a closer in the minors for the Rangers, which maybe it could work out for them. I think his name is Cole Winn. I can't remember off the top of my head, but maybe the Mariners asked for him, and maybe they try to develop him back into a starter. I don't know, but like I said, I look at the Rangers because he's, been there before and he's had success. So maybe going back, he'll have success again. And, again, of course, all of this is to try to open up playing time so they can call up Harry Ford. Then another team I think of who needs catching depth because in the offseason they traded away not their number one prospect, but their number one catching prospect to the White Sox. And Connor Wong, their starting catcher, has been hurt for most of this year, and I don't even know who their backup is, even though they're my favorite team. And that's the Red Sox. Because Kyle Teal, like I said, was part of that trade and was the main piece for the Garrett Crochet trade. Connor Wong has been hurt pretty much the whole season. I think he just came back. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't even know who the Red Sox backup / starting catcher has been. I can't even name them. And like I said, they're my favorite team. And again, even though they have surprisingly, I think a top 5 bullpen ERA this year, the Red Sox. Again, it could be a plug and play reliever. I know the Mariners are big on their utility guys. They shouldn't need more, but they could ask for one of their utility guys. I think like Ref Schneider's one.
No balls, two strikes.
But I don't know. But I say Red Sox because again their catching situation. Connor Wong's been hurt. Kyle Teal is gone. I don't even know who their backup is. You put Mitch Garver there. He's pool happy. He's got that monster. If he can start to hit, he'll be banging them off the monster left and right, like Alex Bregman has been doing. Maybe it could revitalize his offense. Red Sox get a catcher. Mariners get whatever back in the trade. They open up playing time for Harry Ford. So that's what I think they should do. Like I said, they would have to pay probably at least half of that remaining contract. It's only 12 million. I think it's only 12 million this year and next year for Garver. I can't remember the exact numbers, but they would have to at least pay half. But there are teams who need catchers. And there is one team who needs
That's a ball.
a catcher that is definitely in the playoff hunt in San Diego. So, again, I don't know who they would get back, but it's an idea. There's a lot of other trades I think the Mariners need to make too to help their offense. But that's just one to get rid of a bad contract and maybe get some bullpen help. Because that's probably maybe the best you could get is a older, like early to mid 30s reliever who's okay, just not finding a spot on the specific roster they're on. Anyway, back to Texas. What the holy hell is going on with their offense? Like I said, they have top 5 starting rotation ERA in the league, and their offense is 28th. Again, that one is, I think that one I just those numbers I got from watching the new iTalk Studios video today. Taking a lot of YouTubers' numbers to talk about today, because that's why I wanted to talk. But what's going on with the Rangers, man? Like, what is going on with them offensively? Simeon, I thought he was still going to be at least good for another couple years, but ever since the 2023 World Series, he has not been great offensively. Corey Seager can't stop getting hurt. Like I said, the aforementioned Jonah Heim, Kyle Higashioka catching duo, not doing great. Jake Berger is doing okay. Wyatt Langford, their young star, is doing their best, and his OPS on the season, I think iTalk Studio said in his video, is only like 760, which is the best on the team. Like, what is going on, Texas? What's going on? The Athletics, they have started to fall back down the list, which is sad because I really liked their kind of core offensive pieces, but they do need rotation help. And I feel bad for that team because they signed Brent Rooker to an extension, and while I think he's still going to be good for a bit, I don't know if he's still going to be in his quote unquote prime when their stadium in Vegas is finally built, whenever that may be. Like I haven't even heard they started construction, so I look at it and I would say it could be done in 2030, and that's at the earliest. Because playing in because they have such a good team and they're playing in a minor league park. Like, I know Tampa Bay is too, but I've said it before. That's a different circumstance. They're playing in a minor league park because their home stadium got destroyed by a hurricane. That's different. That's not an owner being cheap. That's hey, a natural disaster destroyed our home, and this is right now the best place we can go. But yeah, they've just been falling. Not much to talk about there. Lawrence Butler's good. Brent Rooker's good. Was it Zach Wilson or Jacob Wilson? Their young middle infielder. He's been doing good. I think he's on some crazy stat where he's hitting the ball good average wise, and I think he's only struck out like 5 times this year so far. I think it's in the single digits still, at least. He has been good for them. I just feel bad for them that their home stadium right now is a AAA ballpark. Oh, sorry, had to mute for a sneeze. So really not much to talk about. The A's, the Angels, who the Mariners are starting a series with tonight. I think they're just kind of pretenders right now. They're I think, in third place in the division, but they don't really have any other offense besides Mike Trout. They don't really have any pitching. Even though they've had some surprising good spots here and there for their starting rotation, they're not great. Not much to talk about there. But then there's the Houston Astros, who, despite getting rid of Kyle Tucker, despite having not a super great rotation, and having Jose Altuve be really bad defensively out in the field, having no real second baseman,
Nope.
Houston Astros, because of the Mariners sucking the past month, are back in first place in the American League West when they shouldn't be. Like I said, I still thought they were good enough to be a wild card team because I look at the other teams around the American League. I mean, I thought the Rangers would be there too, but like we just talked about their offense, holy crap, what is going on? But I thought, like I said, I thought they would at least make the wild card because I thought no other team besides the Mariners and Rangers would be good, and I thought the Mariners could win the division. They still could, but right now it's not looking great for them. But I look at the AL Central. Tigers are arguably the best team in the American League. I streamed the other day some Warzone, and I got a viewer. I told him about this channel who subscribed. Thank you. Forget your full username, so I won't say it. But hey, man, thank you for the follow on Twitch and the subscription here. He is a Tigers fan, and we talked about it. And I do think they're the #1 team. I do think the Tigers could use just a little extra something on offense right now, because Javier Baez surprisingly is, I don't know, he's doing the thing. I did not expect that at all, but he's doing the dang thing. Spencer Torkelson is finally starting to show why he was picked #1. But there's some other pieces. I think they could use a little upgrade at maybe third. Their outfield is pretty good. They just got back some injury players. The Tigers and Parker Meadows, I think, just came back. But they could use, I think third is a spot they could use help, get some help offensively. But the Royals, they're they definitely need offense too. I mean, they're winning, but their offense right now is Bobby Witt, kind of like how Texas Rangers offense is only really Wyatt Langford, but the difference between Wyatt Langford is only in his second year, and he's doing good, and but Bobby Witt is still playing at an MVP level. Is the difference on how the Royals are still winning games and staying in a wild card hunt compared to the Rangers, because one is young and still learning, and the other team's only piece of offense is literally playing at an MVP level. That's the difference. Which is probably why, even though the Mariners have not been great offensively since May 9th against the Blue Jays, it's probably why they're still over 500, only a game back against the Astros, is because Cal Raleigh is playing like an MVP.
Ball one, no strikes.
But Guardians, I think they've taken a step back. I don't know their record. Let me pull it up right now on my phone.
Ball in.
Let me pull up the standings to maybe help with my talk here. Yeah, Guardians. I mean, they're still above 500. They're 33-28, but they have taken a step back. Twins, I forgot about the Twins. The Twins were surging, even though they lost the series to the Mariners recently. They were on like a almost double-digit win streak. I mean, it might have been double-digit. They were They were popping there for a bit. They've slowed down a little bit. Like I said, Tigers
Ball four,
definitely
pitches
number
down.
one team. White Sox, but White Sox are better than expected, but they're still bad. So yeah, Astros are only a game and a half up on the Mariners. That's surprising. Not really, because I'm not really surprising because the Mariners have kind of been bad this past month, which is saying something when they've been bad for a month and they're still only a game and a half back of now the new first place team. Oh, the Rangers are. I thought the Angels were. Oh, well, they're tied. Okay, Angels and Rangers are tied at tied in the division for third. Okay, so I was technically not wrong, but I was a little wrong. Well, yeah, going back to we talked a little bit about the Tigers. Best team in the American League. They're like I said, maybe a little offensive help at third base, and
Ball.
with Tarek
1-1.
Skubal being the best pitcher on the planet, get some more third offense at third base. Tigers are dangerous. I think they're the favorite right now, but if the Tigers can get just a little, to me, if they can get a little extra help offensively at third, just I think the Tigers are the favorite in the American League
He's
to
out.
hit the World Series. Like I said, Twins. I forgot about their win streak. They're second. Guardians. They're okay. I'm surprised they have a winning record at all. Honestly, I know some of their offensive pieces, especially after trading Josh Naylor. I didn't think they would be that good offensively, even though they have Jose Ramirez, who's the best third baseman in the American League, and arguably the best third baseman in all of the major leagues. But yeah, Guardians are there, and
Ball.
the Royals. Talk about the Royals, White Sox.
Count
They
1-0.
suck, but they're better than expected. Go to the East. We talked a lot about the Red Sox. We talked a little about the Orioles. We'll go to the Orioles, who are at the bottom, 25-36. And we talked about them a bit, but just to add on a little to them, like, oh my, excuse me, they need pitching. They need some of their offense to step up. Adley Rutschman right
Count.
now
Ready.
is he started off good his rookie year. He came the same year as Julio, but since then he has not lived up to, like, he's a good. Don't get me wrong, Orioles fans, if you're watching, Adley Rutschman is definitely a good starting quality catcher. It's just he hasn't really lived up to the number one draft pick. He's been kind of a disappointment. Like I said, he's still good. I think even though he's having a really bad season this year, he's still good. He's still a starting catcher. Like, still a starting caliber catcher. It's just he's not lived up to the number one pick. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's where
0-1.
we're gonna end up with the Orioles talk. Red Sox are in fourth. Talked about Blue Jays. Surprising, they are 33-29, 5.5 back. I didn't think they would be.
Out.
Okay, I shouldn't say I didn't think this would be this good. I thought they could compete for a wild card. I just think they need more starting pitching because they did something to Alek Manoah, who was getting better and better, and then then the Blue Jays said basically he's fat, and he has not been good since they called him fat
0-1's the count.
in layman's terms. That's what they call it. I don't think they directly said, "Hey, you're fat," but their wordings were basically them going, "Hey, yeah, we think you're fat," which is it sucks because
Safe.
he was really good. He was a what top three Cy Young a few years ago before that, and now he's in their minor league system. you know. So, but they're better than I thought. I still think they need better starting pitching. I would say to justify the signing of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to their what was it 15-year, $500 million extension they signed him to,
He's safe.
because they're winning right now, but other than he hasn't been back to his top form before they signed him, but Kevin Gosman is definitely back to somewhat good form. I think he's definitely their
0-2
ace.
is the count.
Chris Bassett has been good for them this year too, but I don't think Jose Barrios is having a great year, and
He's out.
I don't even know who their 3 and 4 or 4 and 5 are in that rotation for the Blue Jays. So they definitely need help to help justify that 15-year, $500 million extension. Because if they don't and they fall out, I immediately am going to say, even only a couple months in, that maybe not a bad deal for the Blue Jays, because keeping someone who we've seen be runner up in MVP before and has that offensive potential like Vladdy, it's a no brainer for the Blue Jays that they want to keep an offensive star like that. But I still say it's a bad contract, but specifically for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Because if they fail, even though they said they were hoping to be competitive, if they fail and this window of theirs closes almost immediately, because their rotation, like I said, is not great. They don't really have. I mean, they have one really good pitching prospect, but that's about it in terms for starting pitching. Their playoff window closes real quick, and now Vladdy has the potential to get stuck in a bad team for a while until they can finally get some starting pitchers. So it might already be a bad contract for Vladdy. Depends on what happens, because there have been talks that even though they are in a wild card spot right now, even though they're above 500 and third in the division, there have already been YouTubers like Robbie Hyde is one talking about the potential of Blue Jays maybe not being in it and selling off pieces at the deadline, like Bissett, like uh, Bosch, Bichette, Bissett, Bochette. All those names are similar, and other pieces. Which, which if they do, and again, like I said, that kind of goes like, wow, you signed Vladimir Guerrero to that big contract to what? Potentially start a rebuild. Sure, it's great for you. Like I said, you lock up Vladdy as a offensive star for the rest of his career, but it's not great for Vladdy.
3.
I'm looking at the Rays, surprising second place, but then they're always a surprising top team. Although this year specifically, because I didn't think the Rays were gonna be that good. I mean, they have some good young
Hey.
um,
0-1.
players like Caminero and stuff. I know Lau, second baseman Brandon Lau, has had a
Hey.
pretty great season so
No balls.
far.
2 strikes.
Yandy Diaz has been doing okay. Was it Russman? Has been a pretty great ace for them this year. They're surprising. That's all I'm going to say about them. They've just been, with the pieces they have, it is surprising that they are in second place.
He's safe.
Yankees, yeah, sure they lost Garrett Cole, but Max Fried has been pretty well filling that ace role that Garrett Cole has left. I still think Garrett Cole comes back, he is leagues and above better than Max Fried, or you would hope, even though I think he's going to come back at like 30, 35. Wow, it's weird to think Garrett Cole's in his mid 30s. I think he's going to be 35 next year when he comes back. But you would hope he's still, leagues and above better than Max Fried. But Max Fried has absolutely
0-1 is
filled
the count.
his the void that Garrett Cole left beautifully so far this year, but
Ball.
which has helped them. But we all know why the Yankees are winning is because Aaron Judge is like Kyle Raleigh this year, and even he was continuing it from last year. Aaron Judge is just an absolute freak of nature that cannot be stopped, and the Yankees have him. The Yankees have this absolute freak of nature that cannot be stopped and just absolutely destroys baseballs. Like, to make an analogy with my favorite movie franchise ever, Aaron Judge is Godzilla, and the baseball is the town Godzilla always destroys. Like, there's no stopping it. It just happens. That's Aaron Judge. He is Godzilla. The baseball is the town, and the town in Godzilla always gets destroyed. Godzilla cannot be stopped. So yeah, Aaron Judge, he's just a monster. He is
0-1.
a freak of nature. He is the best player in baseball, and as someone who is absolutely 100% not a fan of the Yankees, one because I'm a Red Sox fan, and two, I mean they lightened up on the. I think I talked about it before. They lightened up a little bit on the beard thing, but still, it's mostly that they're like stuck in like the 1920s. But
0-2.
I gotta admit, Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball, and I feel like there's no debating it. I know Dodgers fans will come and say, "Oh, Shohei Ohtani, he did a 50-50 season." Yeah, cool. I'm gonna be honest. We'll talk about it in a second, so I won't spoil anything. But if Shohei comes back and it can actually pitch and still pitch good, then yeah, Shohei I think comes back and takes that title. But right now, from last year to this year, maybe even going back a year before, where I think it was 2023 where Judge broke the American League single season home run record with 63, which I think that was. Yeah, because that was I think that was the last year of Shohei in Anaheim. Yeah. So going back to 2023 to 20 now, offensively speaking, Judge has been the best player on the planet, and until Shohei can come back and show that he can still pitch dominantly. I'm sorry, Dodgers fans. Granted, I don't like the Dodgers user, but I'm sorry, Dodgers fans. You're wrong. Shohei is definitely number two. He is still in the top three, and he is not number three. But right now, he is not Aaron Judge. He's just not. Shohei is not Aaron Judge. There's no debating it. It's Judge then Ohtani. And like I said, if Ohtani can come back and still pitch and be dominant like he used to be after a second Tommy John surgery, then yes, Shohei absolutely takes over the best player on the planet from Judge. But Judge is number one, and Dodger fans, you cannot deny that. I'm sorry. You just can't. End of story. But speaking of National League West, let's go. Let's talk a little bit there now. Rockies. I think I've said it before. They swept the Marlins though. They swept the Marlins, so they're above double-digit wins now. But I think I said this before in another kind of podcasty video. If I had a nickel for every time I was about to see the worst baseball team in history, I'd only have two nickels, but it's weird I've seen it twice. And it's even weirder it's happened in back-to-back years. So that's what we're going to say about that. Diamondbacks, they've fallen back a little bit because Corbin Burns started the season not so great. He started doing good, but I think he is hurt right now. Nothing bad, but I think he's hurt. I think it's like a hamstring thing or something. I don't know. It's not a bad injury, but I know he's hurt. And you know, Zach Gallen still hasn't really got back to his ace form. I don't know what's going on with Zach Gallen. I don't know why he hasn't been good these past 2 seasons. Hopefully he can bounce back. But Diamondbacks, they just need, especially in the rotation, they just need to get a little healthy. They need Corbin Burns back because offensively, Eugenio Suarez, former Mariner, who I don't think they should got rid of, but has he gotten a hit this year that's not a home run? Like, bro is just like crushing the ball. Like he's just every time I hear Eugenio Suarez getting a hit, it's not a base hit, it's not double, it's not even a triple. It's him absolutely crushing the ball over the wall, like he's doing good. Kentel Marte is always really good. I think Josh Naylor is doing pretty okay in Arizona. Arizona's fine. Like they're 31-31. They're only 6.5 back of the Dodgers. I think they just need to get healthy, specifically in the rotation. And I think wild card they're good. Corbin Carroll, forgot to mention him offensively. He is back since his bad first half last year. He is back. I think he's not one, but I think right now, if season ended today, I think he's top 5 MVP in the NL. He has been really good this season. He is fully back, which is great for Arizona. Again, they just need rotation to get healthy. Zach Gallen maybe hopefully figure it out a bit. Corbin Burns come back. Maybe a little help there in the rotation, you know.
Oh, one's the count.
That's what they need. Giants, they're kind of surprising. Um, their offense has been doing pretty okay. It's really been their pitching that has been pretty good. And it's been pitching that's like Logan Webb and stuff. Like, it's been good pitching. And when talking about the Giants' good pitching, I don't think I've heard Justin Verlander's name be mentioned once. Because that's where he plays, if you didn't know. If you're a baseball fan and you're like, where's Justin Verlander? He went with the Giants. He's with them. I haven't heard anything about him either, but he's still there. So that's the Giants. You know, their offense is doing pretty okay. Pitching is doing good. That's why they're where they are. I would like to hope that they can, but I don't know if they are gonna last there. I do think they could use maybe a little extra help in the rotation. Their bullpen has been absolutely, I believe, their bullpen has been really, really good this year. So definitely not bullpen help, unless that has changed recently. But as far as I know, the Giants bullpen has been really good this year. Like I said, their starting rotation has been good. I think they could lose a little help. I know some of their offensive stars, last time I heard, like Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, not off to the greatest starts for the season, but I haven't heard anything about them lately being bad. So maybe they've turned it around a little bit. But I mean, their offense has been good enough to keep them only 3 games back with the Dodgers. You know, I think they could. Every team could use help. I think for the Giants, knowing the main star being Logan Webb, kind of the only real. I mean, I know other names in the rotation like Robbie Ray, Verlander. I think Kyle Harrison. I think he was injured. I think he just came back. I know they got Hayden Birdsong, who they have in the bullpen right now, who's doing pretty good in the bullpen. But you know, they could use maybe another guy behind Webb, just to help him a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know much about the Giants right now. Padres, Fernando Tatis having an MVP season. We talked about them a little bit with the Mariner trade for Garver, but Tatis having a MVP season so far. Dylan Cease, Michael King, pretty good in the rotation for them. I said, the Boston trade at the start of this, they were looking at Duran because they definitely do need help out there in left field after the Profar exit. Could definitely use some help in left field. Jackson Merrill is the second best offensive. Well, no, I shouldn't say second best because Manny Machado has actually also been really good this year. See, that's what the Mariners need. They need maybe not. They need something like that. They got since the Padres got their young star, Fernando Tatis Jr. He's leading the way. Sorry, what did that say? Oh, I need a double, and Evan Carter will hit for the cycle. But
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Fernando Tatis, their young star, leading the way, MVP caliber season. Then you got Manny Machado, who is kind of the older veteran, having a really, really good year. And then another young star is having a good season, Jackson Merrill. Right? Now, granted, I look at the Mariners, they don't really have that older veteran guy. Because right now they have Kyle Raleigh, who's still relatively young, 27, in terms of baseball. I think he's 26, 27. That's still pretty young in a career for baseball. He's leading the way. There's young, supposed to be superstar, though, is not Julio. I don't know who their good veteran. Maybe that's where Carl Crawford should be. He should be the older veteran, even though I think he's only like 30. But he should be kind of the more veteran guy who has helped backing up the two young people. Which he kind of is. He kind of is. But like I said, Julio needs to go. Anyway, Padres. They're doing good. I know they need a first baseman. They need a catcher. Or maybe not a first baseman. I think, while still not great, I think they got Gavin. I know that not didn't think. I know they got Gavin Sheets from the White Sox. I don't know if the White Sox let him go, put him on waivers. I don't know how they got him, but Gavin Sheets has been okay for the Padres. But they could use help. As always, like I said, left field is a big hole for them. That's why they were looking at Duran. Still think first base for them is a big hole. I don't know how Xander Bogaerts has been doing this season. But I know that contract's a big hole. But Padres are good. They're one of the better teams in the National League right now. Only two back of the Dodgers. Dodgers, all I can say is I'll keep it brief for the Dodgers because they're my number one most hated team. Dodgers, Shohei's number two best in the world. And they cannot keep a starting pitcher healthy to save their life. I don't know why they have so many injuries, but the Dodgers do. Their rotation is absolutely neutered from injuries, but they still find a way. Oh, one more thing. Roki Sasaki has not been great. I mean, I know it's his rookie year, but he has not been great. That's the Dodgers talk. NL Central, Pirates. People are already telling the Pirates to trade Paul Skeens. No. Tell the owner to actually get offense. That's what you need to do. Because right now, don't get me wrong, Brian Reynolds is good. He shouldn't be your best offensive player, though. O'Neal Cruz is good, but he's got pop, but he's not super living up to the hype of him right now, of what the prospect hype was when he was coming up. I mean, sure, he hits the crap out of the ball. I think he has the fastest hit now in the StatCast era. I think he hit it like what was it, 123-mile-an-hour home run the other day? 122? Dude just absolutely smashes the ball. But he just needs to get more consistent. Other than that, the Pirates need help pretty much everywhere else. They need first baseman. Nick Gonzalez hasn't really lived up to his hype at second base. They moved uh, O'Neill Cruz from shortstop to center field. I don't even know who their starting shortstop is right now for the Pirates. Same with third base. Left field. That's Brian Reynolds. He's fine. He's good. Again, maybe shouldn't be your best offensive player, but he should be one of them. He should be a complementary piece to your best offensive pieces. But he shouldn't be your best. Cruz in center, and I don't even know who their right fielder is. Pirates need Pirates needs a lot. I know Henry Davis, their catcher, has not been. Why did you just dive, Connor? I didn't even press the button. Sorry. The Pirates just need a lot of help. Pirates need a lot of help. Same with the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, they've had some good pitching performances. Their pitching is starting to come around a little bit. But right now for the Reds, kind of similar to the Mariners, but at least the Mariners have got like I said MVP level pitching. Maybe not Ellie De La Cruz right now, but oh, I did not mean to put him in. I meant for him to warm up. Shoot. Anyway, I was gonna say like a couple of teams, Royals, Mariners, Reds only have one offensive piece kind of working. That's Ellie De La Cruz. Um, Ellie De La Cruz is a beast. He's gonna be a beast. He's gonna be a beast. They just need some more around him. Um, Spencer Steer and Encarnacion Strand have not really worked out as good at first base for them. They need that. Second base, I think that's where Gavin Lux is playing when they got him from the Dodgers, and he's actually having a not bad season. I don't think he's hit, or if he has, it's just been one. He hasn't really hit for power though this year, but I think Gavin Lux is having a pretty decent season. Novelli Marte, who came over to the Reds in the Castillo trade with the Mariners, has not been good for them, especially with the suspension. Was it last year for PEDs? He's just not been good. Third base, not great. Left field, I think that's where Spencer Steer is actually right now this season. He's been okay. TJ Friedel, I think, is their center fielder. He's been all right. And right fielder Will Benson has his moments, but they need help there too. Like the Pirates, the Reds needs a lot of help. Didn't even mention the Pirates bullpen and starting pitching that's not Tarek Skubal. Although Merrill Kelly for the Pirates is having a good season. But Pirates also need bullpen. Rockies, or the Reds, kind of need bullpen help too. They're, like I said, same boat as the Pirates. Kind of need help in a lot of places. Tyler Stevenson has had a good year, though, behind the dish for the Reds, I think. He's had a pretty good season, I believe. But next up is the Brewers. They're kind of a weird team. If I remember correctly, this year they've done a swap. Usually the Brewers win because they have really good pitching with at least middle of the pack offense. And I think this year so far for them, they've actually had a pretty good offense with middle of the road pitching. So that's all I can really say about them. Is just more pitching. Their offense, as far as I know, has been pretty good this year. I mean, obviously they're 34-29 even after starting horribly bad to the Yankees and the Torpedo Bats. Which, can I just say, watching the baseball bat bros and some of the other teams with torpedo bats. Now, of course, I know they're designed specifically for the players on where they hit the ball the most because of the data and swings. But at the same time, I kind of think the torpedo bats are a placebo effect. I think I talked about it a little before last podcast episode, but I think they're placebo effect bats. I don't think they're really. I think people think they're helping, but it'd be the same if you just had a normal bat. Anyway, team on the rise that I talked about before that needs to tear it down and rebuild. Cardinals are number 2 in the National League Central. WTF? How? They don't have great pitching. Their offense is okay, although Ivan Herrera has been really good catching wise this year. He's been really good offensive catcher for him this year. But other than that, I don't know any other names that's helping them win offensively. Like I haven't heard much about Nolan Arenado getting back to some form of his original self. I really haven't heard anything stellar about their rotation. They're just surprisingly second place in the National League Central. That's what we're going to talk about with the Cardinals. They're somehow number 2 in the Central. And then we come up to the number 1 team, who I personally think right now is the favorite in the National League. The Cubs. Now, I do think the Cubs could use a starting pitcher just to kind of help that rotation stabilize, but the addition of Kyle Tucker, the getting a drink of water. The emergence of Pete Crow Armstrong offensively this year. The sorry. No, yeah. Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong. Who else has been helping them offensively? Ian Happ, who's normally good, has not had a great season, but he's doing good. I know the Cubs. I don't think they have a first base because I think Matt Bush is. Oh, I shouldn't have been paying attention. Is hurt. Michael Bush. I can't remember his name. I know his last name was Bush. I think he's hurt. But just the moves they've made in the off season, and the emergence of, like I said, Pete Crow Armstrong. Their catching platoon, Carson Kelly. I don't even know who their the secondary catchers, but the platoon there has worked out great. Carson Kelly has been good. He's been good this year in his limited role. Yeah, I think Cubs, if they can get a starting pitcher to help just kind of solidify that rotation, Cubs are numero uno dangerous team in the National League. I think getting Kyle Tucker was great, and I hope in real life they sign him to an extension because they need him, and he has worked there, and he can help them be successful for years to come. But in game, I hope they don't sign him. So in game on the Marlins, we can sign him and bring him to our team. Do a little quick wrap up. National League East, because we're coming toward the end here. Marlins, they're bad too. They need to trade, even though he has not had a great year. They need to trade Sandy. I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. Baltimore needs something in that rotation. Sandy could potentially help. Specifically because Baltimore has an abundance of, doesn't matter what position, they just have an abundance of hitting prospects. Marlins need offense. Marlins, go get some offense. trade Sandy, get some offense, trade maybe not Perez, but trade someone else from the rotation. Trade Edward Cabrera.
Outside.
He's
That's the
major
ball.
league ready. He just has not worked out for you. Marlins, trade him to get some more offense like we did in the series. It won't work out exactly like how they did for us, how we got Carter and Duran. Because I don't think the Rangers would do that in real life, but send him to a place
One strike.
where it's got a good pitching lab. Well, maybe not Cleveland because they don't really have offense either.
Two balls, two strikes.
I don't know. Just send him somewhere. Get some offensive prospects back. Get offense on that team. What's what you need to do. Braves they were injury ridden at the start of the season, and Acuna just came back, but they're still fourth. I think they'll be okay. I think the Braves just need a little help pitching. Maybe a better shortstop because I know they just DFA'd in real life. Orlando Arcia, and he is actually with the Rockies now. We are playing in the game, so they could use an upgrade there. Pitching, but other than that, they'll be fine. Acuna just needs to get back into the swing of things. I think Austin Riley's having a pretty decent season. They just need pitching help. Health? I said health. Help, and they do need pitching help, but they just need pitching help. I think Braves will be fine. They'll come back. I don't think they'll win the division, but I think they could sneak back into a wild card, and they'll be a dangerous team in the postseason if they can get some pitching help. Nationals, my word on them is they're just young. Mackenzie Gore, though, finally popping off this year. James Wood is also popping off. CJ Abrams having a good year. Just to name a few of the young guys. And that's just what the Nationals, they're just young. You know, they are young, and they're just going to get better. They're, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best young cores in the MLB. And they're gonna be a dangerous team in a few years. They're kind of a dangerous team right now. I could argue if they went out and got a secondary, like top of the end rotation guy behind what Mackenzie's Gore is doing right now. Nationals dangerous.
That's a ball.
They got the young offensive core, like I said, James Wood, C.J. Abrams, great years. Mackenzie Gore having a great year. I wouldn't want them to push it though. Be like, oh, we can do this now. No, just let them develop more. But they could. I feel like the Nationals could, if they wanted to, if they really, really wanted to make a push this year for a wild card spot, make some aggressive trades. They absolutely could. But Nationals, I just want you to hold off. Just hold off for a year or two. Let Woods continue to develop. Let C.J. Abrams continue to develop. Let Mackenzie Gore see if he can sustain this ace-like ability, and then sign him because I think he becomes a free agent in like 2 years. Then and sign him to an extension, and then go for the aggressiveness. Once you've seen continued development and progress from CJ, from Woods, from Mackenzie Gore, if he can keep up the ace-like ability, and the other pieces around him, like Brady House hasn't even came up for the Nationals yet. See, I think they're struggling a little at third base. Screw it, bring him up, see what he's got. If he can be good, bring him up too. Just see, get that young core going. Let it in the majors develop for another year or two. Because James Wood right now is good. C.J. Abrams right now is great. Like I said, bring up Brady House. I think there was an injury though in the outfield, so I think they just brought up Robert Hassel III, who used to be one of the topper end prospects of them. He came over in the Juan Soto trade. I don't know how he's doing. I know they brought him up like a week or two ago, maybe even longer than that. But just see what you got. See what happens. And I think in a year or two, make that push and show everybody that your young core is to be feared. Because they're not even, like I said, James Wood, CJ Abrams not even fully developed yet, and they're, especially James Wood this year, is already to be feared a little bit. So yeah, just again, keep developing. Don't push it now. Give it a year, give it a season or two, and then push it. That's what I'll say about the Nationals. Phillies, I think they'll win the East, even though they're in the second place right now. They could use some outfield help. Brandon Marsh has not been great this year. Castellanos is just not good defensively. Kyle Schwarber, I keep seeing every once in a while they throw him out there. He needs to be your DH. They moved him from the leadoff spot though to like the third or fourth spot, and he, power wise, I mean he always had power, but he is not just hitting for power this year now. He's actually hitting for average. Surprising. I thought he was more of those three true outcomes: walk, strikeout, or home run. But he's not popping off like Aaron Judge's right now. But I think last time I saw Kyle Schwarber was hitting like 250 with like I think the third most home runs in the league and like the second most behind Shohei in the National League. He's been good. Harper's been good. JT Realmuto has, unfortunately, I don't think he's no longer. He's still a good catcher, but he's definitely no longer in that top echelon of catchers. He's a good everyday guy now, but he's just not that former superstar he used to be at the catcher position. All-star caliber catcher, like top 3 in the league. But he's still good. Alec Bohm continues to not be great, I think.
Ball one.
Trey Turner is good. I forget who the second baseman is for the
Ball
Phillies.
two.
But Phillies are okay. I don't know what they need. Maybe, as always, maybe some pitching just to help. But like I said, I think Phillies are okay. They could make some moves just to help out. I think they will win the division. Because right now, number one are the Mets. And I know the Mets got off to a hot start at the start of the season. I think at one point, I think they were like 21-9. And don't get me wrong. I mean, of course, I think they definitely need, as a winning team, they definitely need rotation help. I still do think they make the postseason as a wild card team. But I think the reason they're so good right now and in first place, and don't tell Giraffe Neck Mark, because that's his team. But the New York Mets had a really, really easy schedule to start the season. Like they played not really good teams at the start of the season. Like their schedule was so easy. They're still good. They're still gonna make the playoffs. They need rotation help, but the start of the season for them was really, really easy. They played a lot of not great teams, which is why they're in first. The Phillies are closing in though. They're 1.5 back.
0-1.
The Mets, like I said, Mets are still good. Juan Soto looks like he might be back. After a really, really bad start to the season. They're in first because they had a really easy schedule. They're still good. They are still going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. But I think the Phillies are better than them right now, even though the Phillies are in second. Because the Phillies have a better rotation. They could use some help, but they definitely have the better rotation. That was a good way to end it right there. We won the game. We gave up a home run there at the end, but it's what I'm here. I'll just skip this and then be quiet during the loading screen. And sorry, we're back. Thanks, my mom. Yeah, we won. Great game. It was a great talk. We're gonna sim to the end of the season now. And Carter's hurt. Great. Lineups. We'll throw Brian in there. We'll do that. And let's do a quick sim. And we'll end the video off with a little whatchamacallit. It's a little recap. What I was gonna say. Recap of our team's stats. Shane McClanahan, our new ace. See the numbers there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Whip's a little high. Pretty good war. K per 9 down. Walks. That's alright. Homer per 9, okay. FIP, not great. Higher than his ERA, but still good season. Yuri Perez, 72 and a third innings, not super great. You can pause if need be to look at the stats. Or just slow it down. FIP was good though. Ryan Weathers. Slow, not bad. His best season so far in the majors. In game. Yeah. Kumar Rocker. Not great as well. Max Meyer. He did okay. Last Burton, he had a pretty okay season. 13 starts. George Serrano, who was arguably our overall, in terms of overall in game, our worst reliever, but he had a really good season. It's a really good season right there. 3.93 ERA. Could be down a little bit. Same with the whip. FIP, though, is around the same, so it's pretty overall good season for him. Andrew Nardi, really good season, at least in terms of ERA. See there, 2.79, 1.14 whip. Whip is a career best. Career best war. FIP 2.70. So even in field independent pitching, really good. That's a career best for him this season. Jesus Tinko. He was pretty good too, ERA wise, 2.88. 1.34 whip though, it's a little high. 0.7 war, tied a career best. FIP a little higher, definitely higher than his ERA, but still pretty good. Zach Johnson, who we just saw gave up the home run to the Rockies, had a good year. 3.49, 1.35 on the whip. FIP a little higher than his ERA though, at a 4.16, but not too high, not much higher. Carl Edwards came in, 24 games, did the dang thing, 2.22 ERA, 1.07 whip. Well, not bad. We might bring him back in. We might bring him back in. His FIP was all right. Then Carlo Franco, who made an All-Star appearance, who was losing attribute points because he's a D potential, but 49 saves. He blew 10 of them now. 72 in the third innings. 3.3 ERA, 1.52 whip, little high. One win player. His FIP was a 3.36, which is the same as his ERA. Which, yeah. Yeah. He had a good year. Now we go to the offense. Xavier Edwards kind of cooled down at the end of the season there, but still overall 149 games. Especially once we switched him over to DH. Because his fielding is bad. But, yeah, 175 hits, 35 doubles, 2 triples, 6 homers, 60 RBIs. Wow. 65 walks, only 86 strikeouts. Pretty good. 42 stolen bases. He was caught 12 times, though. 298 average, 374 on base, 395 slugging, 769 OPS. Committed 16 errors in his almost 678 innings of field play before we switched him to DH. Still in a two and a half win player though. Really good. Really good. Connor Norby started off really bad. Still not great. Still not great, but kind of turned it around. 135 hits, 19 homers, 73 RBIs. Stolen 9 bags. 240 average, 306 on base, 427 slugging, 733 OPS. 11 errors? Ooh. Not great. His fielding's not great either, though, but he's better than Edwards. Our trade piece that they gave to us in Adrian Del Castillo, Arizona did, and my God. Hold on, gotta sneeze. Sorry, we're good. My God, when he came over, was he absolutely amazing. 130 games between the two teams. Most games with us, though. 148 hits, 21 doubles, 1 triple, 22 homers, 66 RBIs, 35 walks. He struck out 112 times because this one's not bad. His vision is worse. But 4 stolen bases, surprising. 2 caught steals, 294 average, 339 on base, a 470 slugging for an 809 OPS. He is, if he can stay like that for this rebuild, I'll be happy. He committed only 5 errors behind the plate. He's a 4-win player. Man. Thank you, Arizona. Luis Robert came over. These are his numbers. Pretty good. 26 homers. Not bad. Not bad at all. 73 RBIs, 36 walks, 135 strikeouts. 18 stolen bags. All right. Yeah, it's got good speed and stuff. 228 average, 277 OPS, a 412 slugging for 689 OPS. Committed no errors, though. He was a 3-win player. All right, not bad, Robert. Not bad at all. Brett Beatty came over, only in 49 games, but he actually did pretty okay. Is he able to be... He could be sent down. 707 OPS in 49 games. Only 1 error. He was almost a 1-win player for us in 50 games. Ezekiel Durant, Kobe Mayo, 66 games, not great numbers, but we'll hope he'll turn it around, right? Oh, that's right, because we lost Evan Carter. We'll look at him in the main thing in a minute. Brian De La Cruz, only 25 at bats, not much. Otto Lopez, though, defensively, was a boss. 17 stolen bases, but offensively, he hit 10 homers, career high in doubles, homers, triples, and RBIs, even though this was only his second kind of full season. But average was not as good as the numbers projected. On base, not great either. Slugging, we knew he wasn't going to slug much. 684 OPS. He committed 6 errors, though. That's surprising. He was a 3-win player. Jared Kelenic, a trade piece just because we needed him. Here's his numbers. Not bad. Definitely not a bad on base or slugging percentage. Only 1 error. 500 innings he played for mostly us. And he was a little over a win player. Not bad, Jared. Not bad at all. In fact, I think that's your highest win total in your career. No, 2023 Seattle was 1.3. Saw Duran. Oh, that's Ruiz. Okay, Ruiz coming over for us. 24 stolen bags. He's going to be a great backup out there if anybody gets hurt. A 491 slugging in 71 games. Go Durant. Go Ruiz. 2 errors. He was over a 2-win player in 71 games. Nick Senzel. Kind of a platoon out there. See the numbers there. Pretty good. Pretty good. 6 errors. He did not give us a single win though in that. Ezekiel Durant. You know what? That's who I remember now being on the Red Sox. I don't know if he's on the team. Yasmani Grandal on the Red Sox though. I don't know if he's playing right now, but I know he's on the roster now, at least according to MLB The Show. Ezekiel Duran, 112 games with us, or total. He's good. He didn't have great numbers. Five errors, below a win. Brett Wisely, another one of our platoon guys. 177 average. Ugh. 231 on base, 274 slugging. 5 errors. Oh, God. Good thing you're a platoon and we only bring you in if there's an injury or if someone needs a day off. But that's bad. And then Grandal, we saw him at the start of the season. Was doing good. Fell to the wayside of our great Adrian Del Castillo. Let's go look at Evan. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Let's go look at Evan Carter's final stats just real quick. 97 games, 70 hits, 14 doubles, 11 homers, 37 RBIs, 38 walks, 64 strikeouts, 8 stolen bases to 5 caught, 237, 332 on base, 417 slugging for 749. OPS, 2 errors. He was about a win and a half player. All right. I know it doesn't say anything, but let's just look at the awards real quick. Shohei, followed by William Contreras and Matt Olson. Yeah. Oh, I didn't talk about Shohei being okay. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe he could have still been a 50 player, 50 homers, 50 stolen bases, a 50-50 season. But if you go back and look at a bunch of some of those steals, he had a bunch of what should have been called catcher's indifference. Which is, if you don't know what catcher's indifference is, that's where someone is stealing a bag and the catcher or even the fielder make an attempt to go and try to get the runner out. It's called the catcher's indifference. And there was a bunch of those I saw from Shohei in his stolen bases. Just saying. Cy Young, Chris Sale goes back to back. Spencer Strider there. Roki Sasaki in this universe, though. Third. Batting title, Shohei, none of us. Reliever of the year, Dennis Santana. That's okay, yeah. I see that. Matt Strom, Sam Mall. Of course, Roki Sasaki, Griffin Coney. Who we gave them. Haesung Kim. None of us. No. Oh, Shane McClanahan's there, though. Nope. No. 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 Hey! See, he didn't give us a thing, but we got an award. Luis Robert, Gold Glove winner in center field. Right field, no. DH, definitely not. We're not competing with Shohei. Castillo, number 2, and catcher Silver Slugger behind runner-up and MVP William Contreras, which is valid. No, 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 no. But maybe, because we're gonna go after Kyle Tucker. But we're gonna do it for this video. I am going to record. Sorry, had to text my mom and aunt real quick about something. Anyway, it's gonna be the end of the video. I forgot to say at the start. If you've made it this long, don't forget like, subscribe, share, leave some comments. If you watched all the way, leave the comment. Kyle Kyle Tucker to Miami in the off season because I'm about to record that. But I hope to see you next time. My game actually worked, so I think I said if this is my Xbox is only an MLB simulator now, then so be it. And it was. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.